Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European Indices for the 27th of March, and starting with the DAX here on the hourly chart, and the move down from the current high here 11,800 is in three waves. So we've either got an A and a B and a C wave here, or we've got 1 and 2 and 3 here. I suppose it's also possible to have wave 1 and 2 here, and then also have wave 1 here and 2 here, and then move down in that way. The main point here is that if this level here, the 11,500, becomes the support, and it will take a little while because it would have to have the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then it would need the A, the B and the C wave here, and then it would need to go up here. So even if it created a new high here, I expect it to go up a bit further, by the way, but we'll have a look at that. If it moves up here, that still doesn't signify that it's going to go higher at that point, because it would have a move like this, and then we can look to take any of these highs out through here or put it on an angle or whatever. But it definitely needs to have that retested support there before going higher. So we're under the level, so we need to be looking at short trades. So in that case, yes, it doesn't count as 5 waves down. The US markets does. And we're looking for a rally for that, and then move down further. So we need to look at that situation as well. But for here, we could go short under this level here. Definitely counts in 3 waves here. If we look at the tick chart here and just drill in here, we can have a look at the bigger picture in a moment. Let's just let's get a week in here. Okay, so going back a little bit here first, this is where we started. If you remember, we were counting, just open this up a little bit. I mean, it's just detail, but still it's important. So wave 1 and 2 here, and we counted this down here for 3 and ABC for 4, and then we counted 5 waves down here. So we're looking for an ABC correction to come back into this space here. We only got, we didn't quite get there, so that was the 50 and the 61.8 up here. So we're kind of sitting around the 40%. But still, that's okay like that. So that's all good, and then just remove that one here, and then counting down through here, I've got wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third, the fourth and the fifth, make the third here and the fourth here and the fifth here. So this would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, a bit jaggedy, but it's there. And then we need to be looking at this here. So I think the whole move up is corrective, and the reason for that is it's not often that you would get, if this was going to be wave 1 here and wave 2 over here, then we've really got an expanded flat correction here with an A wave, a B wave taking out the high here, and a C wave taking out the low of wave A here. So that would be an expanded flat. So that's not going to really occur in waves 1 and 2. I have seen it before. It's not the end of the world, but it's not written in the book, so we'll stay with the book. So this does appear that it's an A wave here, a B wave, ABC for a B wave here, and then a C wave to the upside. So if we count the C wave to the upside here, let's just copy a few of these. So wave 1 and 2 is in here, probably there. Wave 3 and wave 4 is here, and we'll look for wave 5 to finish up here, and we'll have a closer look at that here. Another way to look at this too is, if I can bring that, if that's 38.2, then that's going to bring that down to here as wave 1 and 2 here. So I'll need to double check that in a moment. But my main focus here is looking at, that also looks like it's 5 waves here. So even though it's not the low, I'm going to have to move that over here. Now, if this is the case, then we need to look at, I'm not sure what level that is. That's, well, it's going to be the midpoint there. So that's important. And 30 is important. 20, 10. So 1, 2, and 3 make up group 1. And then we've got 8 here, 72 in here, and 65 here making up group 2. So in one way or another, this move here is corrective. So that I need to go through that perhaps, but this is from here to here or to here is corrective. So we need to be making new highs here above wave 3 here. Okay, so we're going to end up in here somewhere. I mean, basically what it's trying to do is trying to retest the 11,500 because that's the supply level where most of the volume would be turned over. So, but this structure up here, if we're looking at 5 waves, it's still not finished as 1 and 2, and well, 3 would take us up above the 450 here, and 4 and 5 here. So we haven't completed this particular structure here yet. But what it does enable us to do is that we'll be able to either short from up here, but I always like to have safe trades. So shorting back below the 11,420 area would be the way to go. So let's just have a look at this here. So we can actually take that higher here now. So let's put a line in at the 400 area through here. So we could say that, let's just remove that. We could say that once this finishes its little move up through to here somewhere, then we're going to come back down here and bounce, and then we're going to bounce back up again. And then it's really on this one here that we can look to go short there. I know it's a long way away, but you could also short from up here. I'm just looking at the safer trades at this particular point. You can draw trend lines through here and so on. But if we had, if we had 5 waves from the top here down to the 61.8% mark here, then I would look to short higher up here. But I need some confirmation. My first confirmation is because 3 waves here could take us higher here. That's the problem. But it's probably that we've got, if I can copy that, an A wave here. Copy that. A B wave up here. So that means that, just double check that here. Yep. So that can take us up into this space here, which would be the B wave, and then we'd look down for a C wave at that point. So that's why we don't want to short in this space here, because we could reach up higher here before moving back down. I hope that's not all too confusing, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Yeah, so what I might do is I'll just move this out of the way. I'll move this out of the way. I'm going to put that here, and that here, and we'll move this over here. We'll see if we get that run to the downside there. We don't need that there either. Yeah, let's just see what this has got entail for us here, but it could certainly come back up into this space here. So just moving these out of the way here, a bit of housework while we're here. I can delete those later. Okay, so it can come back up to this space here, so that's what you need to be mindful of. But at the same time, we're not going to go long in this space. We will go long if we get this set up over here in this timing here. All right, let's move on and have a look at some other stocks. So for the UK market, 1 hour chart here, also down through here, it looks impulsive, but I can only count 3 waves down. So it's possible that this, copy this here, this is wave 4 here. So we're just going to need a little bit of strategy here. We're not short in this yet, but and the French market's like this as well. So it's possible that we got wave 4 here, which would leave this here. If I took this from this high here down to this low here, that would bring us into the 38.2%, which would be about right. So so what we can do here, we're quite fortunate we've got 7,200, which is important. So if this low here is breached, then we can look to go to the short side here. So perhaps we don't need that there, but we had that there last time. So we can put that just under here. So that would be the short trade if that breaks down from that point there. I'll just put that in a lighter color here as an alternative. And I'll just save that. So that will be our short trade from this point. It can rise up to this area through here. And if that's the case, then you could copy that and go long from there if you wanted to. But yeah, I wouldn't do that as such. But if you were, then just take it as a really small light trade and keep a tight stop on it. In fact, I'm going to remove it here. But that's where you could go long from. Also to the French market, the CAC. So what we were looking for here is that we had wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and we looking at this as wave 3 here. So we need to look at this as wave 4 here. So I mean, we could view this too as an A and a B and a C to the downside, but normally the A wave and the C wave would have some sort of correlation there, some equality in terms of length, but this has really got the personality of a third wave here. So I think we're okay to stay with this as a fourth wave here, and the 40% retracement level here would be, well, it's on the 5,300 area here. So we could say to ourselves, if this became the support, then we need to look at a higher retracement level at this point. Then that would be down here somewhere. And we could look at this in this space here. And above that space, then we would need to, if that level there is support, we would need to look at this going higher at that stage there. So at this stage, we'll just clear this up here. And I mean, all these markets are going to move together. So I was looking for, little leaders and so on here. But we need to see if we're going to get this as wave 5 here, and if that's the case, then we'll see an A and a B and a C back up and then down from that point there. It's okay also to have this A wave sitting here. An A wave can be in 3 waves or 5 waves, and if that's the case, then we need to look at that B wave being in place there. So we'll keep the stop out of the way. If you want to sell half of the position here, that's fine. And also too, if we copy that, we can go short under here. We could also look to go short, get a bit closer to the market as such here. That might be more helpful there at that point. You want that as a retested resistance. So we've mentioned this a lot, but if we can just use an example here, market come down, might hit it, bounce through it, retest here, short position there. If that's breached, then you're short there. Then that way you know that it's continuing in that thing. It just needs to migrate from being support to resistance, and then confirmation, the evidence, and lower at that stage. So that could push a little bit higher from here, but it should start to fold down from here as well. But it's okay for another high to come in place here for this. So let's have a look at the. So for the MIB here, we're looking for a little retracement level here into that space. I was looking for wave 3 here and a wave 4 here, and I'll just stay with that for the time being. I'll just remove that. But what we do have here now is we have that. We have 5 waves down here, so we know that after a retracement, you may be short already from this green box, and then we'll look for a move down. If you're not short there already, then we can just move that to the 2100 there. If that becomes the resistance, then you can look to short from that point. You could also look to short from moving through here as well, if that's any good to get a small position in there for that, just a half position, because you're above the level at that stage there. So I'll just leave that at that. Yeah, okay. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.